Training Marketing Podcast is brought to you by Esther of IPA Group, bringing premier online promotion to your business.
And Melanie of Stomp Social Media Training, who empowers business owners to manage social media and marketing for themselves. Hey guys, today we're talking about hacking and scamming on social media, how to spot it and how to prevent it. So this is a topic that's been brought up a lot recently. Melanie and I have both had many questions about how do I get my Facebook business suite back? Unfortunately, it's not easy.
And, you know, it's happened to us as well. We've had problems with our Meta Business Suite in the past as well. But there are some ways around. It just depends on how much you use your Meta Business Suite. And if you're using ads, there's another way, there's another little back door there as well. But it really depends on who is given access. And that's why it's so important. In fact, I'm sure I speak for both of us here. When I get onto somebody's actual social media profiles, one of the first things that I iron out is who is allowed to still have access to the social media profiles. So I'd like you all, please, to go through every single social media profile that has your business name on, or even your personal name on, and make sure that, you know, you're only allowing access to the people that absolutely need it, frankly.
Yeah, because we've heard from so many people that have said a disgruntled employee left, they still had access to the business suite, and they ended up changing the password. They ended up, taking the social media page over for ransom, basically, because they were let go in such a way that they weren't happy about. But before we get to all of that, first, when you're setting up your business page and your business suite. Now, we are focusing more on the business rather than the personal. Lots of personal accounts.
It sounds like we're mostly focusing on Facebook as well.
Well, yeah, it is one of those ones that is hacked more than Twitter or LinkedIn, to be fair. I
think it's because of all the power that's in there.
Oh, there's so much. Because if you have your Facebook connected to your Instagram and your WhatsApp, that's just that's just giving all the power to the hackers and scammers. But when you set it up, and we're talking business, not personal, because personal profiles can be hacked as well.
Or they're saying that wherever you have your card attached to, because it doesn't have to be just business accounts, because I know that personal accounts also get hacked because there's access to people's ATM cards.
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't want that either.
But it seems to be more prevalent on the business ones.
Well, yeah, because on the business one, you've got your ad account set up, again, connected with your credit card or debit card. And they could just, I think that's one of the ones that you had recently, that somebody was advised that their ad was in review and they hadn't set up an ad. So that's what sort of sparked it. That's what they saw. That's the first notion that they had of, wait, there's something going on here. Right? Because
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, because we don't expect to get hacked. Nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, I'm going to check if my Facebook has been hacked. Nobody does that, although we probably should. We probably should check first thing every morning, right? But one of the telltale signs is if you get an email or a text message, whatever way you have set up your notifications to say there is suspicious activity on your account, the ad is now running, and you're going, I didn't set an ad, then you should be looking at that. But before we even get to any of that, like Melanie said, who has access? Who is allowed? And it shouldn't just be one person. Because one of the people that I've been trying to help recently, he's the only one that had access to his business account, thinking that, well, I'm keeping it safe. It's only me. Nobody else knows the password. Nobody else. And now he can't get in, and nobody else can get in to let him back in. So again, it's one of those things. Who can you trust inside your organization, inside your family, if you're a one-man band?
See, it's not even just that, though, is it? It's also down to the fact that, this particular client, there was actually somebody I'm mentoring, and the issue they have, they're both using two-factor
authentication
security. Yeah. And they're completely on top of it. And it's their business, so they've both got access and they both do ads, and so it's all completely above board. But maybe they didn't use a strong enough password.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just something as simple as that.
Yeah, could be. I mean, don't use Facebook 123 exclamation mark. But like you said, they were using two-factor authentication, something that Facebook and all social media tells you to set up.
Yeah.
And even your bank gets you to set up 2FA, as they call it. But yeah, sometimes that's not enough, because somebody can go in and say, oh, I forgot my password. Oh, but now I've also changed my mobile number. I've also changed my email address, and get it changed over. Because Facebook aren't going to, none of them, I mean, we're focusing on Facebook, but none of them are going to question that you've changed your email address, because it happens so often these days, or that you've changed your mobile number. That happens a lot as well. But when you set up your password, there are a few things that you can use. Obviously, they all say set up one that has a capital letter, at least one number, one lowercase letter, and a symbol. But it has to be at least 8 characters long, and it has to be something that you remember.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure most of us are guilty, not looking at anyone in particular.
I have changed it, okay?
Using the same password for everything.
I have changed it. It's not the same password everywhere now. Mostly.
I do it too. But there is something that you can use. You can use a password generator. But the problem with that is that they come up with these really random things that you're never going to remember. I mean, there's symbols mashed in with everything else. But what you can do is use a password saver, right? So you've got things like LastPass or 1Password, where they will actually suggest passwords.
Are they expensive?
No, you can use LastPass for free.
Really? I didn't realize it was free.
On one device.
Oh, okay.
Right, it used to be free everywhere, but now it's just on one device. So if you use it most on your laptop, then you can have it for free. But if you try to log into something on your phone, then you're going to have to pay for it. But it's not expensive. 1Password is the one that we use here, and I think it's something like £2 a month or something. Really, really, really inexpensive.
That's nothing.
That's
is it?
Nothing for the safety and security of all your passwords. Because let's face it, guys, it's not just social media that we use a really easy password for us to remember, so therefore it's easy for others to hack into. So if you have all your social media passwords, all your banking details, I mean, on 1Password, you can even store your credit card details.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, we're not working for any of these people.
No.
We're not making any money.
No, this is not an ad for them. But it's just, they're tools that we've come across that we use and that we find really useful. So it is helpful whenever you're setting up, or like, obviously you've already set up your social media accounts. Go back in and change the password. Change it everywhere. Change it so that you're not the one waking up tomorrow morning going, I didn't set an ad. What is it talking about? And realize that you've been locked out of your account that you have spent years growing.
See, some of it is glitches as well. Okay, so even when you realize you've made a mistake, there's access has been gained somehow. And this is something else we hear is you've actually managed to contact Facebook and you've managed to get the account suspended and fixed and that sort of stuff. But then you can't get back, you can't regain access again. And, the amount of issues I've heard with that. And, Louise McDonnell, who would be, one of the Irish respected
we've had her on
Facebook
recently.
queens. She only recently advised myself, and she mentioned that, if you've got, if you're running a successful business account, you'll be running ads as well. So you should have ads manager as well. And if you have, so first of all, there's the top layer of being on business account as a role of some description. And then there'll be a secondary layer of being an ad account admin as well. That's a backdoor. Potentially, if you get locked out of your own business suite, there's a backdoor through Ads Manager that you can access, but only if you've been made an ad account manager. If you haven't been made an ad account manager, then that door is closed to you.
Too bad. Yes. Yeah.
That basically is it. But the problem that some people are trying to overcome is, okay, they've managed to suspend the account, they've stopped the person from going through their account and trolling it, and there's no damage, there's no costs, there's no more spending, that sort of thing. The account's still there, but then they can't reclaim it. And that is the problem that we're experiencing now with some of the people that I'm working with. They're trying to upload their ID and it's not working.
Yeah.
It's not showing. It's not accepting.
Yeah, like you say, the glitches, because the system, the meta system has been updating for the last 2 years, and it just seems to be going through constant changes. So when, it could all just depend on the moment that you press the button to upload that information that they're looking for, that it turns out to be successful or not. Plus the ID to prove that you are who you say you are has to match with your name on social media. So if you have set up a business account under a personal page that is not your real name, you could have real issues as well. Because how can you prove that XYZ exists when you only set that up so that you could open a business page because you didn't want the business page linked to your personal account? I've had people like that. They're like, that's
a nightmare.
I don't want anybody to know that this is my business. Why not? But they set up a separate account to open the business suite and then go, I can't prove who I am.
Yeah, we just wanted to do this podcast today to let you know that you're not alone.
No.
It is having an impact on quite a lot of people. And there seems to be cycles of it, doesn't there?
Yeah. There was about a month or two ago, it was all on Instagram. People's Instagrams were all getting hacked. Now it's their Facebook. Next month,
we got locked out of the Monday Morning Marketing podcast.
I did, yeah.
For like a week. Fortunately, we already had 2-factor authentication and more than one person who had access to it. But through Business Suite.
It happens, and we had a strong password, didn't we?
Yeah. Yes. What I do is completely different to what I do. Yeah. Well, that's changed now. It normally does take us to have this horrible thing happen to us before we fully appreciate just how damaging this potentially could be to us and our business.
Yeah.
But why wait, guys?
Yeah. You never,
it's make or break some businesses.
Yeah, you never think it's going to happen to you until it does. And like Melanie says, then it's too late. So, or it could be too late. So set all these things up in advance, guys. Go in today, make that part of your to-do list to change your passwords, to make them strong, and to use a password generator. Store it, save it somewhere. Remember, people can still hack into your computer. So save it on somewhere like LastPass or 1Password. And just be careful. Be careful, because it's not going away anytime soon either. And I wish we had more answers as to how to get around it and how to avoid getting hacked and spammed and everything else, but we don't, unfortunately. It's one of those things that we have no control over. So therefore, what we have to do is to try and prevent it rather than cure it.
And, we've heard a lot of horror stories over the last few years. And I think that's probably what's made us a lot more cognizant because of the roles we have. And we don't mean to scare you, but if you are going to be using your social media for business, you always want to have the best representation of yourself and your business at all times and access to it, ideally. So please, there are lots of ways you can protect your brand, your online reputation, your revenue streams. And unfortunately, we're getting more and more, normal use and everyday use of using them. So do heed this warning, do make these changes, and we hope that you will avoid hacks and scams that will come across your pages.
Indeed. That's it for today, guys. If you have any other questions or if you need any help trying to get your Facebook or any other social media account reactivated, do get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Until next week, bye-bye.